Hi, thanks so much for joining me. I'm Danny from The Glittered Rose. You can find me over on Instagram under that name, but I'm so excited to share that you can also find me on Amazon, as I've just published my first book called Fascinating Faces. Fascinating Faces is in my series of books called Not So Fussy Cutting Club, and there's another book that has just become available today, I believe. And the story behind Not So Fussy Cutting Club is that I'm not a huge fan of fussy cutting, so these images are for those people who want a more relaxed style of cutting. So you don't need to spend hours cutting out the images. You can just cut around in straight edges. No fussy cutting here. There's no hate meant to fussy cutters. I mean, I do it when I need to do it. It's just more poking fun at myself. So Fascinating Faces has just got lots of beautiful imagery. So if you want to stick around to see what's in this book, please do. Okay, so when we open the page, it's my favorite image from the book. So I wanted to use him to welcome the readers, to give you a good idea of what to expect when you open the book. And then there's just a little bit about the book and about my channel and my Ko-fi shop. I just thought that a little bit about it. And then you'll notice that my book is printed on lovely thick paper. It's matte paper, so that you won't have trouble with buckling or warping. It's lovely quality, so it's nice and thick. So the images just have some lovely images of men and women with beautiful faces. There's a bit of a mix of different styles and different types of images. They're all beautiful quality, lovely, um, lovely clear images. There's no extra fingers or hands or anything. Um, I think that you'll be really happy with the quality. All nice and clear. They're not pixely. It's a mix of illustrations and sort of, you know, photos. I didn't want anything to lean too far into abstract or, modern. I thought a good mix of imagery would be really good for my first book. There's some nice sayings and some little fillers. There's some men along with the women, although if you were to ask my son Cooper, there's not enough. A mix of ages as well. I do love that girl on the top left. That man reminds me of the Wizard of Oz. He had to go in. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm a Wizard of Oz nut. I love that guy as well. It's funny, I really like the men in this book. I got a couple of Russian blue cats in this time. It's a homage to my Bruce, is my Russian blue cat. He's cool too. And this is my second book called Dark Secrets. Now this one is very sort of black and white and creepy and very sort of dark. So not for everyone, that one. I can't wait to get my hands on it and play with it. I had to put him in as a workable size because I can't wait to use him. Now this page I thought, they might be fun to add some colour to. I had to throw in some teacups. Collection of teacups. So there's a broad range of imagery here. Quite stunning that personally I can't wait to play with. And I think having them printed will be, they'll be quite fun. I like these images. That's a book finished. I'm not sure which image to use. There's so many that I love and I feel quite attached to all of them. It's hard to choose which one to start with. I don't know because I honestly love them all. I do love him. Don't know. Aren't they striking? I love the matte paper and the better quality paper that this is printed in. It's just lovely. Do you know what? I think I'm going to go with him. I've loved this image for so long, and I've wanted to use him as for a long time. So I'm gonna celebrate my new book with this image. Do you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to celebrate my new book with a new art journal. I'm really thinking out loud here, and I'm going to have an art journal dedicated to my books. I just love this art journal. I love the paper that I created for this art journal. So I'm going to have this art journal for my books. I'm thinking out loud. So I'm going to start a new art journal. I'm going to cut him out, and we'll start a fresh art journal. And I'll pop a page out, and I'll cut him out, and then I'll be back. I have this lovely stag stamp set from Aall Create. I'm going to use the lighter stamp. It's sort of two versions, a darker stamp and a lighter stamp. And I'm going to stamp and emboss it in just clear. So it's going to be a resist look because I don't want it overly obvious. I just want it to add that extra texture. I really want the image to stand out. So I'm going to stamp and emboss this twice. I've done this technique a lot. I love it. I think that the distress range really does look fantastic in this technique. So when you're stamping the embossing pad on watercolor paper, it needs to be stamped a couple of times or even 3 times so that your embossing powder um, sticks to the watercolor paper because it does get soaked up a lot. So I just want it to get nice and wet. So I'm going to stamp this here, and then I'll stamp it again just above it. I don't mind if it's doubled. Um, he's going to be covered. He's going to cover it, but it's also not going to be overly obvious anyway because it is a resist technique. You'll just see little bits and pieces of the stamped image. I'm going to do the stamping and embossing off camera because it's not all that interesting, and you've probably seen this 100 times before. Okay, so for my Oxide ink pads, I'm going for a different look today. I'm going with old paper. Um, yeah, sorry, just getting my camera to focus. Shabby shutters, bundled sage, and forest moss. I think that these colors should look really nice together. And they're colors that I think are quite similar to what's in his what's in the picture, in the focal picture. I needed to clean my mat. I'll clean the mat and then I'll be back. Okay, so the trick for this is just building up the layers. I have a tendency to start or try to start with your lightest color and then build on top of that and just um, smoosh your ink pad down, spray a bit of water and layer on top and just build those layers. So you get, lots of sort of grungy blobs of color that you can build on top to get that interesting sort of layered grungy look. And then the layers build on top of each other and you get that lovely oxidization between the layers as well. There are two tricks to this. Is you really need to get the little balls of ink. So when you spray, you want those little balls, but you also need to be patient. So you just really need to build up your layers because you want the grunge and you want that layers and you want to see the layers of color building, and that's I think the beauty of this method, especially with the oxide inks or the distress inks. I'm going to do this off camera because I would imagine sitting through watching me build the layers will be quite boring. And I'll be back with my next tip. This is looking really lovely, but on this image, there's this color down at the bottom, which I really like. And I reckon Distress has a color just like that. So I'm actually going to pull out a color in a spray, not in the oxide. And we'll see how we go when we put that on. I've got to find it, so I'll be back when I do. Okay, so I've grabbed out ice spruce, and I think that this color should be quite similar. I've decided not to go with an oxide because I want it to stand out. I want it to look quite different than the other colors. and I'm just popping that straight on. That looks really quite nice. And that just adds a little bit of that bluer tone to it, which is what I think it needed. I'm going to dry this off. I think that's looking really nice, but I think it needs a little bit more of the ice spruce. So I'm just popping a little bit more, and I'm going to bring that blue up a bit further. I'll pop a bit of water on. It's really nice. I really like this colorway. I think that they're it's a good color combination. I think the added blue is quite nice. I'm gonna grab some Lost Shadow, not Oxide, just the spray stain, and I'm just going to do a little bit of splashing. I think just some dots, some splashes would look really nice. Not a lot. Yeah, I think that's nice. And then quickly dry that off so it doesn't pull up the other colors. And then I might call that background done and see what else it needs. Oh, I like that. I really do. It's really nice. Let's have a close look. The background. Look at that gorgeous background. Got all the grunginess. Mm-mm. Delicious. All right. Let's think about how we're going to pop this together. As I've glued him down, I've noticed these circles. So I'm thinking I'm going to follow that through because the background is so strong. I want to sort of cover that up and break it up a little bit, add a little bit of difference because it is a lot. So I have been doing circles a lot lately. They're appealing to me for some reason. So I'm going to grab some watercolor paper out and do 3 circles, probably the same size, and punch them out. And then I'll grab my spray box out, and I'm thinking I might use um, the iced spruce spray that I used before. It'll probably pick up some of the other colors in the spray box, but I don't mind a little bit of interest because it goes really well with the image, and that'll just give it a little bit of um, yeah, a bit of difference. I might pop a glove glove on so I can work this color in. So I've got mummy cloth sitting next to me, and I thought I'm going to use some of that. I haven't used it for so long, and I used it on one of my Maremi tags, and I thought that would add a really nice texture to this page. So I'm going to pop it behind my circles, and I don't think it's quite wide enough, so I'm going to overlap it so it's just that little bit deeper or wider. Um, yeah, it needs to be a bit wider than that. So I'm gonna have it a bit wider. It's funny what you can make as embellishments. Just round circles and a bit of well, mummy cloth or bandage. And it's funny what you can find as inspiration, just circles on the page. Follow that, you know, repeat that. It ends up looking really good. I'm going to fiddle with this off camera, I think. I think this looks good because there's also like the orby dots on his shoulder. All right, I'll be back. I'm just going around him with a black micron pen just to even up that border because I didn't cut it out evenly. Just to make it look a little bit more neat. All right, I've grabbed out arguably the best color in the distressed range, which is scorched timber. You can argue with me, but you can be wrong. And I'm just going around the edges with it just lightly. I don't want too much. Just to finish it and just to frame it. Let me know in the comments what your favorite distress color is. It is really hard to pick a favorite. I just think that scorched timber is a great color. All right, that's looking pretty good. I just wanted it light around the edges. All right, I'm just going to pop on a saying, which is new beginnings. I like that. It's nice and small. And I've popped crayon all over it. Tidy that up. And I'm just going to go over it with a black pen. I think that looks quite nice. I think I'm going to call that done. I'm really happy with that. All right, I'm going to pop this in my art journal and we might have a close look together. And here it is, all finished. I have to say I'm happy with the result. The color is a little bit different to what I'm used to, but I think it suits the image. He's a handsome devil. I really do love this image. I'm really happy that I got to create with it. There's lots of texture and interest, even though there's no texture paste and no real sort of 3D embellishments. I really did enjoy creating with it, and it was exciting. First image from my book. and my favorite image from my book. Um, if you're interested in checking out my book, I'm going to leave a link in my description. Um, it's available worldwide on Amazon, so have a look. Even if you're not interested in purchasing it, just go and have a look on Amazon. It would really help. It tells the algorithm that there's some interest there, so it might push it out to a wider audience, to people who are similar to you. I really appreciate all your support. Let me know what in the description box what you think. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and share with your friends. Thanks so much for your support. If you do purchase the book and you make any projects using my images, I would love to see them. So please hashtag the glitter rose so I can find your image, find your projects, and join my Facebook group called The Glittered Roses on Facebook so that I can see your projects there. I really do love seeing what people make with my images. All right, guys, till next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.